This is Liam with the Daily Chase podcast, coming back to you for the first time in a little bit, maybe about a month or two. And I'm so excited for today's episode because I have so much to share with you. And so much has changed over the last month or two since my last podcast release. So let's get right into it. Today, I'm going to talk about how, for the first time in my life, I got fired from a job. Now, if you don't know my story, about a year and 3 months ago, I moved to LA to take a risk, to take a chance, to take the job that I felt would help me get to my goals and dreams quicker than where I was previously. Now, fast forward about a year and 3 months later, I moved out here to make substantially more money than I was in Florida. Obviously, the cost of living's higher, and obviously, if I'm going to make a move across the country, I want it to be worth it financially. So I came out here thinking I would be able to do that, and it really just wasn't working out at my previous job. And I take full responsibility. Now, I'm sure there's responsibility that could be put on maybe the company that I was working with, but there's no ill will there, because I am so blessed that they decided to let me go. And honestly, it was just a good fit for both of us. I mean, I wasn't really, crazy about it like I was when I got here. It was getting dull. Things were changing. The people were changing. The culture was changing. And it wasn't really the same as when I had got here. So when I got laid off, I was kind of expecting it. When I got let go, I was pretty much expecting it, and I was prepared for it. I probably manifested it myself. So I was quite happy with it. And as soon as that happened, I'm a well-connected guy. Tons of people hit me up all the time trying to work for them as sales people, managers, whatever. So I was never, ever worried about job security, but it was just rough. And the reason I didn't quit is because, I'm not a quitter. I didn't want to come out here for the job and then quit and just be a quitter, because I really didn't know what else. But it all worked out in my favor because I ended up finding another similar job. And within my first month and a half, I've already made more in a single paycheck than I ever did at the first job I came here for in the year and 3 months there. And so I wanted to just kind of give you that update. The dream is still alive. I'm still in LA. I'm not quitting because, my goal is to become a millionaire by the age of 25. And now that I have this job, and I kind of want to start keeping a documentation of, my journey out here now, and kind of maybe monthly income reports, so that we can see me go from, and just so you know, while I was at the previous job, I was making, just living on draw, making about $2,300 a month in LA inside of an apartment that, man, it just wasn't good. But I just want to give you guys kind of a breakdown of my first month, because I think it's powerful to show and document me going from really nothing to living on my passive income. And that's ultimately my goal, is to be able to invest all my income that I make at my job into investments and be able to live on my passive investments, so that I can invest every penny I make from an active income into expanding and growing my passive income to live on. So my first month, maybe month and a half, I started on October 1st. So my first paycheck was the 15th. So we'll say from the 15th to the 15th, that's like a month and a day or so, 30 days, whatever you want to call it. I actually ended up making, and that was the best month I've actually ever had financially in my life. So within my first, 31 days, 30 days or so, I ended up making $250,000, so about $25,000. And this was such a relief for me, because this is what I came to California for. And it's not the money that I came for, but it's what the money is going to allow me to do. Because, with that money that I made, I'm going to be able to start, giving, growing my investments, and also start helping my family and my friends get an unfair advantage. That's really what I came out here for, because, I see I know I have so much potential, and I have family members who have so much potential, and I just wanted to give them an unfair advantage. I wanted to be able to take care of my family, help my brothers and sisters, my siblings, be able to grow their own businesses. And so that's really what I came out here for, is just to give my family an unfair advantage, and as well as myself. So within that first, now that I've been here a month, and by the way, I've only been here for about a month and a half, so we're just getting started. But I was actually able, within this last week or so since I've received, this money, I've been able to knock out about $10,000 worth of debt, and that was actually accumulated in the year and a half or the year and 3 months that I was struggling, trying to figure out how to make it at the previous job, right? And so I've been able to pay off about $10,000 worth of debt now, which, like I said, was accumulated just being here. I really didn't have that much debt when I got here, just a car payment and like $2,000 worth of student loans, so nothing crazy. So that was nice, being able to finally pay off that debt that had been weighing on me. Now I'm actually being able to help my dad. He was going through a divorce, and so I'm super excited to do that. And also, I am going to be investing a good bit of it, maybe about a quarter of it, into an e-com store that I'm building with my brother. If, as you know, he's into the sneakerhead community, streetwear clothing brands. So I'm super excited to be able to build something with him. And, this just goes to show, just because I wasn't able to succeed at the first place that I came here for doesn't mean you quit, right? People say as long as you don't give up, eventually you'll make it happen. And one thing that I would say is, I guess that I may have did that maybe other people didn't, is that I put myself in the position to succeed, right? And like I said, I'm only been here a month and a half, so, it may not be like this forever, but I'm really getting really good feelings about this first month, so I'm super excited. But, if you want to get what you don't have, you got to do what you've never done before. And so, growing up, obviously California is not like my dream destination. I've never really had any plans to moving to California because I've grown up in Florida pretty much my whole life, right? And so when I found out about the original position, I just jumped right on it, and I just put myself in a position that I've never been in before. And, that's not even what made me uncomfortable, to be completely honest, because, it's funny I talk about that, because this past week I've actually been putting myself in an uncomfortable position because it did feel, because I was pushing myself to basically push a quarter of that money that I had made into another business venture to start producing income for me outside of my job, so that I can start producing that passive income. And so that was actually really the biggest uncomfortable thing that I've done probably for a long time in the last year or two, is starting that business venture. And I'm looking to launch it here within the next week, and there's just so much going on. And since my last podcast, I've actually also started a media agency to kind of help creators like myself. And the reason that I haven't been posting as many podcast episodes, obviously I'm going through the transition with my jobs. I recently moved, so there's just been so much going on. But, doing the podcast, recording the content, and then after recording the content, you find out that's just the beginning. You have to go back and edit it, and then you have to create the social media clips, and then you have to do this and do that and do this and do that. It's just so overwhelming, especially when you're working a full-time job, working 10, 12 hours a day. You're trying to have a family. You're trying to, be healthy, go to the gym, which I've been slacking on. Another thing that I plan to get in order now that I'm starting to get my finances going again. But it was just so overwhelming, doing the editing and the post-production, and then the distribution of the content on top of recording it and everything else that's going on in my life. So I actually partnered up with a buddy of mine that I met in LA when I first got here. I was staying in a hostel with about 10 other people, And I partnered up with him. He's an awesome guy. And so we started Daily Chase Media. And this is really for people who are looking to grow their brand, grow their business through video content, maybe like this, through a podcast or through a vlog series. So if you are a busy professional like I am, and you don't want to handle all the post-production and distribution, or the social media clips and the transcriptions and the titles and the progress bars and all of that, be sure to hit me up, and let's set up a consultation for you, because I don't want you to have to go through what I went through. And so I've got that going on. I've got this new job going on. I just moved. Got the e-com store I'm going to be hopefully launching by the end of the week. Got a couple of friends that I met through the 10X Growth Con about 2 years ago now. I met them at the second Growth Con. So really just tapping into my network and utilizing the resources, the money, the time, the energy, and the money that I've accumulated to start, leveraging and growing and using other people, right, in a good way. That's really what money is all about. It's not about the money itself. It's about what can happen with the money. And so, I'm able to help support other people's businesses while they support me. And I'm just so excited to be able to really impact people in my family and my friends the way that I've been wanting to and have been striving to do really since I was 18. We're just getting started on the journey. But what I can say is that it's going to be a great ride, and I'm so relieved that I'm finally in a position, and I'm going to keep it strong. We're going to keep it rocking. We're going to keep it rolling. And I'm actually about to fly out to Orlando to reunite with my family for the first time in over a year and 3 months. I'm going to have my brother coming in from North Carolina, my grandma coming in from Louisiana, me coming in from California. So it's just going to be such a great time. I'm going to see my younger siblings, my dad. My mom is actually going to be in town as well from Tennessee. So, it's really just a great family reunion. So there's nothing like, so as you can see, the timeline of events, I essentially got fired from my job the end of September, started October. And mind you, before I got fired and before I got this job, I had no idea how I was even going to be able to move apartments because, obviously my credit took a hit with my income. Literally got slashed at 50, 60% moving out here. And so it just was not looking good. But, I like to feel, I feel like I didn't show a crack in my confidence, my certainty. I knew that it would pull through for me. And having that faith, it absolutely paid off. So got fired, took a week off, connecting with my network, finding out what's the best place for me to arrive next. Luckily got in contact with a colleague that I worked with at my previous job who had bad situation, but neither here nor there. Found out he was making it a killing at another company. So I gave him a call, and he just welcomed me with open arms. It was such a great feeling. And that's another thing about having a network. I really have I don't have any scarcity mindset when it comes to job security. I know that, with my skills and with my network, really anytime I need, if I ever need a position, a high income position, that should not be a problem. And so this story is just today, this podcast today is just to kind of catch you up on what's been going on. Now, I will be out of town for about 10 days with the family. And once we get back from Thanksgiving, I'm going to be going full force, going to be ramping everything up, going to be getting back on the podcast 2 times a week and growing this e-com business, growing the agency. So again, if you need those services, please, please, please hit me up. I know the stress that you must be having and the time it takes. So don't be a stranger, hit me up. And I hope everything is going well for you. It's going well for me. You have a blessed Thanksgiving, and I will see you guys next time. See ya.